Welcome. Anxiety. So many of us struggle with anxiety. I've struggled with anxiety pretty much my entire life, and it has been a real process to try and work through it and change it. I've gone through therapy, I've been on and off medications, I have attempted suicide twice. I have definitely experienced some intense anxiety and depression, and it has taken me a lot to realize that it's all inside of me. And this is going to be hard for some people to hear. I know that I personally would not have believed what I'm saying right now, even just a year ago. And I'm not trying to offend anybody. And I'm not trying to discount what you're feeling and what you're going through, because I absolutely know how that feels. I've been there. As I said, I attempted suicide twice because it got so intense. And I almost died the second time. I was unconscious, and if it weren't for my mom actually finding me, I would have died. And so I've been to my lowest low. And I absolutely know that those feelings are very real. And you have the right to change those feelings. You don't deserve to live in that for all of your life. Nobody does. And so what I've been trying to do to break out of it is really look at my issues. Why do I feel this way? What do I care so much about? What's the worst that can happen? If I can look at what's the worst that can happen, what's my biggest fear, and really just look at it and accept it, a lot of times it'll get out of my way. Another thing I've realized is how important self-love is, because I'm the only one who has to live with me for the rest of my life. So why be so uncomfortable with myself and so anxious within myself that I can't even be with myself? It doesn't make sense. So what I started to do to change this is I stepped way out of my comfort zone, and I started looking myself in the mirror and saying, you are beautiful. You are worthy. You deserve happiness. You're worthy of being in other people's presence. And you're worthy of sharing your thoughts in other people's presence. And I also started to just tell myself, I love you in the mirror. Look myself in the eyes and say, I love you. And I can't tell you how uncomfortable this was in the beginning. Because for me, I would avoid even looking myself in the mirror. Even just going to the bathroom, washing my hands, I would just look down. I couldn't look at myself. And that went on for years and years, till just recently, I started actually being able to look at myself without feeling such a resistance to myself and accepting myself for the way I am. Another thing I've been doing to step outside my comfort zone is these videos, because this is such a process for me to do videos. It's very hard. It's not as hard anymore, but it was very hard in the beginning to look at myself in the computer and watch myself talk and not sit here and have judgments over every little thing about myself. And it's interesting how if you can just look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself I love you, tell yourself you're beautiful, you're handsome, whatever you want to hear. You may not believe it at first, it may be very difficult, but the mind is something that can be trained. And if you continue to do this every day, and when negative thoughts about yourself come up, just try and go into the bathroom and, instead of thinking those negative thoughts, just sit there and look at yourself Tell yourself you love you and that you are perfect just the way you are. And it's really cool how if you just keep doing it, even if you don't believe it at all, your mind will start to change. It will start to say, oh, maybe I am beautiful. Maybe I am handsome. Maybe I do love me. Maybe I do deserve. It's been a huge process. I'm not fully there either. I still struggle with aspects of this daily. But I can see the difference that it's making in my life. Even just a year ago, there's no way that I would have gotten up and shared my opinions and done videos like this and shared them with people and not totally freaked out about what they're gonna think about me. But one thing I've realized is it only matters what I think about me, because as long as I'm not harming or hurting anyone, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Because you know what? In a day, in 5 years, in 1 year, whatever, is that really gonna matter? Probably not. Are those people, strangers especially, are their opinions really gonna matter a year from now? I don't even remember a year ago the experiences that I had in the grocery store where I was embarrassed or anxious. I don't remember. So I had to really kind of step outside myself and look in and see what really, truly matters. For me, this all relates to social anxiety. I totally understand other anxiety. I've had that as well. I had postpartum depression really, really bad too, and postpartum anxiety. And that is definitely a different thing to work through, but it can be worked through as well. If you can, if an anxious fear comes up, like, some people are scared of driving. If an anxious fear comes up of driving, of getting in an accident, sit down with yourself and just allow yourself to feel that fear inside you, whether it's in your tummy, in your back, in your head, in your shoulders, anywhere. Just allow it to be there. Because the more that you resist it, the more it's going to keep coming back for your attention. And if you keep focusing on it, it's going to manifest in your reality. And then you're going to think, it manifested in my reality because I knew it was going to happen. But the fact is, it's not that you knew that it was going to happen. It's that was all you could focus on. And so you manifested it into your reality. And I know this is a strange concept for some people. And years ago, I would have said, no, that's totally false. I'm not responsible for the things that happen in my life. Things just happen to people. And sure, there's some things that happen to people that, it was part of their soul's plan and soul's lessons. But most of the time, we are creating things that happen in our life. And a lot of time with anxiety, I've realized, is that we will keep creating it if we're not learning the lesson, if we're not learning how to change these feelings and change our view on the world and ourselves. These feelings will just keep coming back stronger and stronger and stronger until you can actually recognize them and sit with them and allow them to be. It's okay that you feel the way you feel. But the thing is that you don't want to keep feeling that way. So if you can recognize it and you can feel it and just let it be, it will dissipate. Are you happy being anxious? Are you happy with all of those thoughts running around in your head? Know that you can change them. You do have the power. It won't happen right away. So if you try it once and it doesn't work, give it more of a chance. It's definitely a process, and it definitely needs to be repeated over and over and over in order to train your mind to start thinking in a different pattern. See, when you were young, these patterns formed, and because you believed through experience that this is how it was, you continued to believe and believe and believe, and those beliefs just trained your mind and locked your mind in to thinking and feeling this way. If you can retrain your mind through working out, it's kind of like training your body to, have muscles and stuff like that. If you can, train the muscles in your mind, if you can work those out and steer them to different thoughts, it really works. And you will start to actually just kind of automatically start thinking these more positive thoughts. If I can do it, anyone can. I used to be so low, so low. And I fully believe that with patience, practice, commitment, you can do it. Anyone can. And that's not to say that I don't still struggle with things like this. I absolutely do. But it's just a continuing process that I just have to keep releasing and looking at and working through. But the more I do it, the more I start to believe, and the more I start to see that all of these were just beliefs that I had running around in my mind. And that I can create my own reality, and I can make things different. And you can too. Have a good day.